3 years ago, I worked the overnight line at Brixford Components, a factory the size of 4 football fields that stamped out aluminum parts for airplane wings. The place ran 24/7, churning metal and human souls alike. Management didn't hire full-time, they siphoned people in through 5 separate temp agencies. Faces blurred together, names were printed on cheap sticker badges that peeled off by lunchtime. The anonymity should have protected me. Instead, it made me pray. Day 1, I opened the humming fridge, already tasting the citrusy steak fajitas I'd prepped the night before. Gone. Maybe I mispacked. Day 2, missing again. Day 3 through 6, every single lunch, vanished like smoke. 6 12-hour shifts running on vending machine peanuts and tepid tap water. Hunger wasn't the worst part. It was the violation, the feeling of being invisible in that metal jungle, yet somehow worth targeting. Every clank of the press sounded like someone laughing at me. My stomach curled into tight, angry fists. My hands shook on the controls. Antagonist development, the legend of the lunchbox bandit. Chatter bubbled up, someone's stealing again. Check your tuna salad, dude. We started calling the phantom thief the lunchbox bandit. Rumor said he, or she, struck only nights, always picked the tastiest meals, and bragged about never getting caught. I watched co-workers carefully. A wiry guy from agency number 3 who never brought food but never looked hungry. A woman from agency number 1 who loved Instagramming her gourmet lunches. Even my shift lead, Dennis, who winked too much and said, "Better label your stuff, rookie." Each time I opened the empty refrigerator, heat flushed my cheeks, and a metallic tang filled my mouth, the taste of rage. Turning point, the midnight epiphany. On the 6th night, dizziness forced me to sit on a crate between conveyor belts. As the stamping press thundered overhead, a single thought cut through the noise. I'm done being the easy target. And then, like a match to dry tinder, an idea flared. Not petty. Not violent. Perfect. Back home, 4 a.m., I yanked open my spice cabinet. There it was, a small jar labeled Carolina Reaper, 1.6 million Scoville units, a gift from my cousin, a chillerhead who once weaponized ghost pepper brownies at a cookout. My fingers tingled just holding the jar. Revenge planning, cooking with fire. I marinated skirt steak in lime, garlic, and a whisper of brown sugar until dawn's first light painted the curtains. The scent was mouth-watering, almost merciful, until I donned gloves, sliced 2 crimson reaper pods, and minced them into a devil-red pico de gallo. The fumes alone made my eyes leak. I layered sizzling strips of steak, caramelized peppers, and onions into tortillas, drizzled everything with a lethal salsa, and crowned the tray with fresh cilantro. The colors popped, Instagram-worthy. Deadly gorgeous. I sealed the Tupperware with a clear lid so any passerby would see the feast and salivate. Finally, I pressed a post-it on top, hands off. Spicy. Reverse psychology. The bandit poached the best food. A warning would read like a dare. Execution. The quiet before the scream. Night 7. 7:02 p.m. I slipped the container onto the second shelf, the bandit's favorite hunting ground, and walked away. My pulse thudded in my ears like distant drums. Every 30 minutes I found an excuse to pass the break room, heart doing park hour in my chest. 10:11 p.m. The fridge light was on even though the door was closed. Someone inside. I hid behind a vending machine, inhaling the sweet dusty smell of powdered donuts. A shadow danced through the frosted glass, lifted my container, and vanished. I didn't see a face. Didn't need to. A hush settled over the line, as though the building itself held its breath. The climax. Inferno in the break room. 10:35 p.m. A strangled shriek ripped down the corridor. Metal screeched as I and half the shift sprinted toward the sound. There, sprawled on the beige linoleum, was Milo, the quiet new forklift driver I'd barely noticed. His eyes were fountains. Snot streamed down his lip. He sucked air like a bellows but wheezed instead, wee-hee, wee-hee. My now empty Tupperware lay beside him, flecks of red salsa smeared across the lid. A panicked co-worker shouted, "He's got asthma. Inhaler, where's his inhaler?" Someone fumbled with an EpiPen. Alarms blared as a supervisor called 911. I knelt, gripping the edge of a table, fighting the urge to say, "Told you it was spicy." Minutes later medics burst in, masks on, gloves snapping. They pumped Milo with albuterol and whisked him away, eyes still watering like broken faucets. As stretcher wheels squeaked down the hall, my insides twisted, a cocktail of triumph, guilt, and raw adrenaline. Fallout, secrets and suspicions. Work resumed in uneasy silence. No one admitted anything. But whispers rippled. Why'd he take someone else's food? Who uses peppers that hot? Security reviewed the grainy fridge cam footage. The angle showed Milo lifting the container, grinning, then skulking to a corner table. HR posted a memo. Theft of co-worker property violates company policy and local law. They banned him from returning. Temp contract terminated. When I reclaimed my stained Tupperware, 2 supervisors hovered. One asked casually, "You know anything about this?" My stomach fluttered, but I kept my gaze steady. "Only that folks oughta respect labels," I said, snapping the lid shut. His eyes lingered on me a beat too long, but he nodded. Conversation ended. Emotional resolution, the power of a meal. That next night, for the first time in over a week, my lunch was exactly where I left it. And the night after that. Word spread fast in factory grapevines, don't mess with people's food. I was suddenly less invisible. Co-workers asked about my recipes, shared hot sauce stories, even saved me a seat at break. Justice tasted like lime-soaked steak, spicy, yes, but free of bitterness. Climactic revenge payoff, summary beat, 9:40 to 11 o'clock. Picture Milo, once the silent fridge raider, now coughing fire while a blue-gloved EMT slides an oxygen mask over his face. His eyes, glassy and wild, lock on the container as though it were cursed treasure. The realization hits him mid-wheeze. He did this to himself. Meanwhile, I stand a few feet away, hunger finally quelled, not by food, but by the sight of instant karma. My shoulders loosen for the first time in days. The bandits reign. Over. Reflective Rap UP, 11 to 11:20. Funny how respect can hinge on something as small as a Tupperware box. People think petty theft is harmless, until the bill comes due. Sometimes the universe serves justice. Other times, it needs a sous chef. Outro call to action, 11:20 to 11:45. If that ending set your taste buds tingling, drop a like, and let me know in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever witnessed or dreamed of? Don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell for more spine-tingling stories served piping hot every week. Until next time, stay spicy, and guard your lunch.